In this video, we will discuss about how these gold nanoparticles can be used for targeting cancers and what are the different mechanisms can be used to kill cancer cells. First of all, we will understand what are the applications of these gold nanoparticles, where it can be used. So, as we know, the advantages of the gold nanoparticles that it has high circulation time, and because of that it can be used for the detections of the cancer cells, how they are metastasized to the different parts of the body. And second thing, it can be also used for this imaging, such as X-ray, fluorescence, photoacoustic and optical. The reasons with why it can be used for imaging is because of the same reasons that it has high circulation times and low toxicity, so that it can remain inside the patients for a longer duration of time without causing much problem. And at the same time, if we can modify these gold nanoparticles using some fluorescence, then we can observe how these gold nanoparticles are spreading across the patients. And at the same time, if they are coupled with the cancer cells, then we can measure how the cancer cell metastasis within the patient. That can be the part of the detections also. So now let's come to the main point, that what are the different ways by which these gold nanoparticles can be used for targeting cancers. So it can be used like a CAR T cells, but with added advantage of these gold nanoparticles, and its size is usually around 100 to 800 nanometers, that can easily be extravasate from the blood vessels into the side of the tumors. And that is shown here, that it can extravasate to the side of the tumors and at the site of the tumors through these endothelial cells. And based on the mRNA that these gold nanoparticles contains, it can act on the cancer cells through different ways. And some of the ways are shown here, that those mRNA can be used to trigger apoptosis of the cancer cells, or they can be used for this DNA damage by entering into the nucleus and cause DNA damage of the cancer cells. And in some cases, one can arrest the cell cycles of the cancer cells, so that their replications and growth suppressed or reduced to a great extent. And at the same time, the dysfunctional of the mitochondria can also be done. As we know from our childhood, that mitochondria is the energy house of the cells. So if mitochondria get dysfunctions, then it will affect the viability of the cancer cells. And at the same time, that it will also cause this release of this ROS. ROS is this reactive oxygen species, which is harmful to the cells. So it will also affect the healthiness or viability of the cancer cells if it attacks the cancer cells. And this is how these gold nanoparticles are designed. We have understood the multi-level designs. That is, it can be designed using this chemotherapeutic target. At the same time, the ligand receptors can also be exposed on their cell surface of the gold nanoparticles. So when this ligand receptor interaction occurs, this will cause the endocytosis that is mentioned here, endocytosis of these gold nanoparticles to the cancer cells. And since it also contains these chemotherapeutic drugs, so once it is inside the cancer cells, it can act on the cancer cells using these chemotherapeutic drugs. This is one of the approach that we have seen in the previous video. However, here the multiple approaches are shown. So this is just a brief overview, and because of its size, like 100 to 800 nanometers, it does not need additional requirement to do this extravasations and intravasitions. So extravasation and intravasation, which is needed for the movement of these nanoparticles to reach at the site of the tumors. So I hope you understood some of the applications of these gold nanoparticles and how it can be used for targeting cancer cells. The difference is that it has less toxicity and high circulation time because of the immune evasion ability. So this could enhance the efficiencies of the immunotherapies targeting cancers. So this is the advantages of using these gold nanoparticles. So I hope you understood these strategies that are mentioned in this figure. If you need to understand more about these gold nanoparticles, how they target the cancers in detail and what are its advantages, you can go through the reference that has been provided in the description. That's all for this video. Thank you for your time.